In a bright, cheerful forest near a shimmering lake lived a tiny duckling named Dodo. One sunny afternoon, as Dodo waddled along the water's edge, he heard a faint cry coming from the bushes. Curious and concerned, he followed the sound and found a tiger cub trapped in a tangle of vines, his paws stuck and eyes full of tears. Though Dodo was small, he didn't hesitate. With determination, he tugged and poked at the vines. Until snap, the tiger cub was free. The cub beamed with joy and hugged his new friend. Dodo and cub, best friends forever, proving small heart's power.
Once upon a time, in the crystal kingdom of Aravel, there lived a kind-hearted princess named Elara. Her palace sparkled with glass towers and golden lights, and the people of her land adored her gentle nature. But even in all her beauty and grace, Elara often felt lonely. Every night, she dreamed of a golden bird that sang a song of friendship and love. She wondered if the bird was trying to tell her something, or if perhaps it was guiding her towards someone she had yet to meet. Far away, across mountains and rivers, lived Prince Adrian, a brave young prince with a heart as noble as his sword was strong. One stormy evening, Adrian was lost in the enchanted forest. His horse wandered off the path, and just as fear began to take hold, a familiar sound lifted the darkness, the sweet song of a golden bird. The bird fluttered its glowing wings, and Adrian followed it. Step by step, it led him through the twisting forest, across a silver bridge, and finally, to the gates of Aravel. In the moonlit garden of the palace, Princess Elara was walking among the roses when the golden bird landed upon her shoulder, and behind it stepped Prince Adrian. Their eyes met, filled with surprise and wonder. "You followed the golden bird too?" Elara asked softly. "Yes," Adrian replied, bowing respectfully. "It has been guiding me since I lost my way. I think it brought me here for a reason." They sat beneath the glowing trees, talking until the stars faded into dawn. They discovered that their dreams, their hopes, and their hearts were alike. Both longed for peace in their kingdoms, and both believed in kindness above all. But not everyone rejoiced in their meeting. In a shadowed tower, a jealous sorceress named Morwenna watched through her crystal orb. She had always desired Adrian's kingdom for herself, and the golden bird's magic was the one thing standing in her way. With a sweep of her cloak, she captured the bird in a cage of dark fire. The moment the bird was trapped, the skies dimmed, flowers in Aravel drooped, and even the rivers lost their shimmer. Princess Elara felt it at once. "The golden bird is in danger," she whispered. Adrian drew his sword. "Then together, we will save it." Their journey was long and full of trials. First, they crossed the river of mirrors, where the water showed not reflections but fears. Elara saw herself forever lonely, while Adrian saw himself failing his people. But they clasped hands tightly and whispered, "We are stronger together," and the river let them pass. Next, they climbed the mountain of storms, where roaring winds tried to pull them apart. Yet Adrian shielded Elara with his cloak, and Elara's song calmed the storm until the clouds parted. At last, they reached Morwenna's dark tower, its walls crawling with shadows. Inside, the sorceress laughed. "Love is weak compared to power," she hissed. "This bird's light is mine forever." But Elara stepped forward bravely. "Love is the greatest power of all, and you cannot steal it." Adrian raised his shining sword, while Elara lifted her crystal pendant. Together, they called upon the golden bird. From within the cage, the bird's song grew louder and brighter until it shattered the chains of shadow. The golden light filled the tower, chasing away every trace of darkness. Morwenna screamed as her spells broke, vanishing into nothing but smoke. The bird flew free, circling around Elara and Adrian, its song sweeter than ever before. And in that moment, both kingdoms were healed. The flowers bloomed, the rivers sparkled again, and the skies filled with morning light. Elara looked at Adrian and smiled. "The golden bird brought us together for a reason." Adrian bowed and took her hand. "And together, we will keep its light safe forever." Soon after, the two kingdoms joined in celebration. Princess Elara and Prince Adrian were crowned side by side, rulers not only of their lands but of their people's hearts. The golden bird remained by their side, singing songs of hope, peace, and everlasting love. And so, they lived happily ever after, united by courage, kindness, and the strongest magic of all, love and friendship.
High above the twinkling stars, in the soft night sky, floated a tiny cloud named Puffy. Puffy was smaller than all the other clouds. While the big clouds drifted peacefully, yawning and closing their fluffy eyes, Puffy tossed and turned in the sky. "I can't sleep," he sighed. The moon noticed and leaned down with a gentle smile. "What's the matter, little one?" asked the moon. "I've tried curling up, stretching out, even counting stars, but I just can't fall asleep," Puffy whispered. The moon thought for a moment and said, "Maybe you need a lullaby." So the wind hummed a soft tune, "Whoosh, whoosh," but Puffy still wriggled and wiggled. "No, it tickles too much," Puffy giggled. Next, the stars twinkled brightly. "Maybe a bedtime story will help," they said. They told Puffy a tale about brave clouds who traveled far across the skies, bringing rain to thirsty flowers. Puffy listened carefully, but he was still wide awake. Finally, a wise old owl flying below called up, "Little cloud, sometimes when you can't sleep, it helps to think about all the happy things you've done." So Puffy thought. He remembered shading a picnic from the hot sun, painting the sunset pink with his friends, and even sprinkling a little rain on a garden. As he thought of all these kind and happy moments, his fluffy heart grew warm. His eyelids felt heavy, his body soft and floaty, and at last Puffy yawned a big cloud yawn. Whoosh! He drifted quietly into dreamland, rocking gently in the night sky. The moon smiled down. "Good night, little cloud."
Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow at the edge of Whispering Woods, there lived 3 little rabbit siblings, Ruby, Robbie, and Rosie. They were fluffy, quick, and loved to hop around all day. One day, Mama Rabbit said, "Children, it's time you build your own houses to stay safe from the big bad wolf." So off they went. Ruby, the fastest, built a little house of carrots because she liked snacking while working. Robbie built a house of sticks strong, but not too fancy. Rosie, the wisest, built a house of bricks, nice and sturdy. Just as they finished, along came the big bad wolf. He licked his lips and knocked on Ruby's carrot house. Little rabbit, let me come in." Ruby shook her head. "Not by the whiskers on my fluffy chin." So the wolf huffed and crunch. The carrot house fell apart. Ruby hopped as fast as she could to Robbie's stick house. The wolf followed, growling. "Little rabbits, let me in. Not by the whiskers on our fluffy chins." The wolf huffed and puffed, and snap! Now the wolf was very, very hungry. "Little rabbits, let me in." "No, no," the wolf huffed, puffed, and huffed again. But the brick house stood strong. Tired and grumpy, the wolf sat down. Rosie peeked out and said, "Wolf, you don't have to scare us. If you ask nicely, we'll share our carrot soup." The wolf's eyes widened. "Really? No one has ever shared with me before." So they all sat together, sipping warm carrot soup, and from that day on, the big bad wolf became the not-so-bad wolf, and the rabbits had a new friend.